Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is about video post-production, how to put subtitles on your YouTube video. Basically, this is just a screen recording with my narration over the top of it, and I hope it helps you put subtitles on your videos too. Just before we get into it, I should say it's just possible that the subject matter seems unusual, and all it is me teaching at the gym here in Tokyo. And when I make these videos, I put Japanese subtitles on them for my students. And that's why the content is what it is. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, let's navigate to your studio, your YouTube studio homepage, and then select the video that you want. Here's one that I'm working on now. Open it in a page, and then you can see that if you go down in the description, you can show the transcript over here on the right, and you could just copy this, but we can do better than that. If you go to the video, edit, subtitles, you'll see the subtitles that you have available already. YouTube has provided automatic captions in the language that you said the video was in, and I said it was in English, so it gave me a pretty good translation, a pretty good transcript with just some small errors. So come to the options, go to download, and choose a format to download. Now I would choose SRT because it's the most compatible with DaVinci Resolve Nonlinear Editor, which is what I'm using. VTT has a lot of capacity for markup using an HTML language, and SPV is widely used, particularly in Europe. So I went with SRT. This is what the files look like. So you get these here. Now, when you try to open them, you'll get this warning where Finder doesn't want to open the application. It'll say it can't verify that the file is not without malware. So what you need to do is get yourself a decent text editor. I'm using the Cot Editor. For Mac, it's very, very good. I'm using this for programming, but in this case, we're just going to be editing the text file. If you go to Cot Editor and you say open, you can now open these files without difficulty. There it is, already open. Now if you take a look at the file, you can see I've lined them up to the same part of my presentation. It's basically saying hours, minutes, seconds, thousandths of a second, and then the text that it wants to display. There's a comma between the start and the end. So between 16 seconds and 20 seconds, show this text. And it's the same on all of these subtitle formats. This one here, look, there it is again, 16 to 20 seconds show the same text. And here we see with the VTT file, we've got all of this extra information, and this is styling and markup. So as I say, I'm using SRT because I use DaVinci Resolve software, editing software, but another reason to use it is that it's very human readable. Although this is straightforward with its SPV's comma delimitation, I really like this arrow from 16 seconds to 20 seconds by virtue of that arrow. And you can see that they're also numbered. Subtitle 6, joint alignment in Tai Chi. 7. Subtitle 7, let's look at how we manage joint. Subtitle 8, alignment when we're practicing the. Subtitle 9, form, full stop, a thing that we're. So one of the things that we can do when we edit it is to fix some of this formatting. So let's scurry through that quickly. And now it doesn't like this format, so a way that you can do it is to duplicate it in the Finder there, and then you can edit that name. Let's call it joint alignment subs English. And there it is. So go back to Cot Editor and open that file that you just duplicated. There it is, look. Open that, and let's zoom in a bit. Now let's take a look at the text. Change that to plural. Here I'm going to clarify something I said. So that this is the thing that I'm particularly keen to say in this video. We want to avoid rolling the knees in or out, and then syncing into the stance. So I'm going to make sure that that text is correct. And you can see I'm just making changes so that the lines as they're printed on the screen just make a little bit more sense. And I'm going to put these in inverted commas, and the reason for that is that I want the translation to understand that these are special reserved words, and this seems to work fairly well with Japanese. And look, I'm going to lose this one. But I've left the timestamp because otherwise everything else would have fallen out of kilter. So now we've got the file, and go to your AI. So any of your LLM AIs will do this for you. I'm using Grok. And in the prompt, I'm going to tell the AI what I want it to do. And here you see that I can't upload the file because it's not in, doesn't have a text suffix. So let's go to the file, put one on the end, spooge that. And now it can be read. And whatever other LLM you're using, I'm sure it's pretty similar. And I quite like that Grok gives me some feedback here. And that's interesting. Look, it's Taikyo-ken, they're using kanji. And that's interesting that it picked up the things I'd put in inverted commas. And there, look, where we took that line out. I'm going to give Grok a thumbs up there. And now I can copy that to the clipboard, go to Cot Editor, make a new file, paste it in, and call it Joint Alignment Subs, JP. So I'm happy with that. Now I go back to Studio and say Add Language. Scroll down to the language that you're going to put in, which in my case is Japanese. There it is. And then say Add Upload File with Timing. And you can see that it's put the text in, it's translated it, and it's put it into the interface here, like between here is the text at these particular moments. And it sort of makes sense of what we've been doing. All right then. So it didn't mind that it had that double suffix. It worked out what the format was. So now when we look at the video, when the viewer looks at the video, they should see the availability of both languages. Let's go and check it. There we are. We created another option. There's the auto-generated English. Here's my Japanese version, and people can pick that. And there you go, and you can do that as many times as you like for as many languages as you like. Probably YouTube will introduce something with AI that makes it all easier, but that's what I'm doing at the moment. And if you're curious about the video that I was editing, you can watch it here. Well, I hope that was useful. If it was, please join me again. Bye-bye.